This is from CBSSports.com, and they list the Eastern Conference contenders as we move into the second half of the season. And you see they call the Cavaliers the prospect. And all of a sudden, you look at it, East is loaded. Boston's playing really well. Hawks are putting things together. You've got the 76ers with Harden, the addition. You got the Bucks, who are looking to add some pieces on the periphery. The Nets, with Ben Simmons to team up with Kevin Durant, who will be back, and Kyrie Irving. All of a sudden, the Eastern Conference is pretty crowded.
Yeah, and that, it should probably be that way until the end of the regular season. You may be fighting for playoff position on that final game. If you're the Cavaliers, also another team, Toronto, has been playing particularly well too. So and of course the Bulls are in that mix. So there's no shortage of teams, really 1 through 7, that could go any way. And the Cavs just have to maintain doing what they're doing. I thought that the last 2 games, their defense slid a little bit. Maybe that's the dog days of the NBA season where, you're kind of just waiting for the All-Star break. You had a couple of road games. And, even though Lauri Markkanen's not a lockdown defender, having that extra 7-footer in there to protect the paint, and not having him, I should say, has been a little bit of something that they've needed to overcome. So, all of these teams being in the mix is great for the fans. It's great for the NBA, and it really shows a lot of parity. And, if you're the Cavs, you just got to keep doing what you're doing. And even though they lost the last 2, they've still won 13 of the last 18, and they still are in an excellent position. I don't know if we mentioned the Miami Heat in there, but they're in there too. And, there's no shortage, obviously, of competition in the Eastern Conference right now.
Yeah, and again, it's hugely important to keep in mind this is the first time that these guys are going, other than Kevin Love and now Karis LeVert and Rondo, but the first time most of these guys are going through quote-unquote playoff intensity type of basketball. So give them some time to adjust, and let's see how they can. Here's the thing. Every time they've been presented with a challenge with J.B. Bickerstaff this year, they've responded. Let's see how they respond to this.
Yeah, that's a big part of it is, this is a good test for them. This is when the veteran teams are going to start, and the veteran players are going to start playing kind of playoff basketball. They kind of ramp it up a little bit after the All-Star break, and the Nets are going to be getting Kevin Durant back. And you assume that they're going to get Ben Simmons actually in uniform at some point. And then they still have Kyrie Irving, of course. That's a deep, tall team with a lot of experience. They're going to ramp it up. The Miami Heat, 2 years ago, this team was in the finals in the Orlando bubble. The Milwaukee Bucks, obviously coming off a championship. Just those 3 teams alone really are teams that you're going to be, forces that to be reckoned with. And if you're the Cavs, yes, you just need time to feel out this process. Like you just said, Dave, their core is very young. When you talk about the big, quote unquote, big 3 of Darius Garland, Jared Allen, and rookie Evan Mobley being your 3 prized players, those guys are going to get a taste early that they weren't expected to get this season of what playoff basketball is all about. So, again, if you're J.B. Bickerstaff, you're continuing to preach the message. Keep doing what we're doing. Be cognizant on defense and understand that you're going to go into games facing a lot more intensity than you were earlier this season, because this is when, again, teams that want to make a push to the finals are really going to start trying to, show their mettle.